Alright student, today we will start with the topic statistics, and we will be covering this chapter mainly from the point of view of your JEE mains only, right? So we will not be covering your class 11 syllabus, so this is specifically towards JEE mains, and I'll try to keep it as crisp as possible so that you can secure that 4 marks that are there to fetch in the paper. Okay, so let's quickly start with the basics. So we know that there is something called measure of central tendency, and for that we use mean, median and mode are the three measures of central tendency, right? What do you mean by central tendency? It gives you the representation or representative of a set. Okay, let's talk about mean and median, which you people already know. Mean is nothing but the it is nothing but the arithmetic mean, right? As you correctly have learned, it is nothing but arithmetic mean, which is nothing but sum of numbers divided by the numbers itself. Remember, here we are just taking it for individual data, right? Individual series, individual series. So when we say individual series, so we are not going to talk about the questions where frequencies is involved, where a number is getting repeated, because then we will get into the depth of the topic, which is actually not asked at the JEE mains level. So in JEE mains level, you will not be asked mean, median and variance and standard deviation of group data. So it is basically for the individual data that will be asked. Okay, mean of the individual series would be nothing but if obviously if number of data is odd, you will have only one value, which will be the middle value. Middle value is, so for example, there are 7 numbers in the series, so 7 plus 1 by 2, right? That is the fourth observation. Fourth observation would be your median. For this, for median to be there, you have to arrange them in the ascending order first of all. So they cannot be in the random order. Keep that in mind, ascending or descending order, whatever you want to. So please arrange them in the ascending or the descending order before doing this particular step. And if let's say there are 8 numbers, so that means the number of observations is even. So what you will do, the fourth observation plus the fifth observation, which are both the medians actually, right? Which are both the medians. You add them up and divide it by 2. So for example, if I take set of numbers like let's say these are the 8 numbers that I have taken, and somebody asks you what is the median. So median will be what? 4 plus 5 by 2. So the answer that you are going to give me is median is 4.5, right? This is the value of the median. Okay, now quickly talking about the mean deviation. So the measures that we have talked about, for example, mean, we have talked about the median. Okay, and before going further, let's also talk about mode. So mode is the that particular number which is getting repeated maximum number of times. So for example, if I talk about, let's say this is the series that is given to me, something like this: 7, 5, 10, 3, 5, 11, 5, 19. So you can see here that 5 is getting repeated maximum number of times. So the mode of this is nothing but, we will say 5, because 5 is getting repeated maximum number of times. So this is very loose definition of you can say very loose definition of representation, loose definition, right? So we do not talk about this when we talk about statistics. So what another measure we have taken is that is mean deviation. So mean deviation here is about a, for any number about a is nothing but, so xi denotes all the observations, right? They are observations for different values of so this is x1, x2 and so on, right? This is what is meant by xi. So these are observations. Okay, and it is mean deviation about a, right? So let's say you put any number x equal to a. So what is mean deviation is xi minus a modulus. Remember, it is modulus. Why we are taking modulus, I will just show you, and then you summation, right? So this gives you mean deviation about a point x equal to a. If your x equal to a is nothing but mean, so first of all, how mean is represented, that is very important. Mean is always represented by x bar, right? So the denotation of mean is nothing but x bar. You say small x or you say capital X, whatever is you want to say, but yes, x bar is called the mean. So mean deviation about mean, so I would say mean deviation about mean, and we also called about median. So two terms are there, about, median, and generally median is represented by a capital M, right? So what is this value then? Then MD here would be nothing but just replace A by, yes, just replace A by X bar, that is the mean which is given, and divided by N. I can take N common outside. Why? Because it is not a part of summation, right? It is not the variable of summation. And similarly, if you want to find median, mean deviation about the median, nothing but you just have to subtract each variable from the, yes, median, and then take the mod. The reason that we are taking the modulus is, if you do not take the mod sign here, right, if you miss the modulus sign, then the mean deviation about the mean will always come out to be 0. If you just write something like this, that is xi minus x, and you do not put this particular sign here, right? So this value will always be 0. Always. So you pick any number, so half will be on the left hand side of the mean, half will be on the right hand side of the mean, and if you take the difference, this will come out to be 0. That leaves us nowhere. So that is the reason we are putting a mod sign here. Okay, this is the reason that we do it. Next thing that we have to do is the variance and the standard deviation. So variance, if you know variance, you can just find out standard deviation. So variance is nothing but it is another measure of dispersion. So what we call is that variance is nothing but, variance and standard deviation are measures of dispersion, how dispersed data it is, dispersion, right? So this is what we call them, measures of dispersion. And the value that you are going to secure is 1 by n xi minus x bar. Now remember, x bar is nothing but mean. Here x bar is nothing but mean, right? So this is the value of the variance that you should remember. Please by heart this, otherwise I will not be able to help you out in fetching those 4 marks. Okay, and I varies from I to 1 to n. And remember that variance is always calculated towards mean, so you cannot have a median here. Alright, it was mean deviation about median is fine, but variance is always calculated about the mean of the data. Okay, the other formula, and if you, before going to the other formula, if you want standard deviation is nothing but under root variance, as simple as that. Okay, and if I say that standard deviation, so the syntax of standard deviation is nothing but it is represented by sigma, so then the variance will be nothing but sigma square. So sorry, this is not a variable so we just did a blunder here. So yeah, it's variance. All right, so yeah, so it is variance. Okay, and another formula of variance that we did in probability distribution also, which is of huge importance and can reduce your questions. So variance is nothing but you remember the expectation formula, so it is ex square minus ex whole square. So when I say e is nothing but, you mean expectation, right? E is nothing but expectation or mean. Expectation or mean are one and the same stuff, right? So this formula can also be used. So ex here is nothing but your arithmetic mean, as simple as that, arithmetic mean or the normal mean, whatever you talk about. What do you represent by ex square is nothing but it is summation xi square by n, right? This is the formula. So the formula then, if you want to convert this, so this reduces into summation xi square by n minus summation xi by n. This is now in whole square. This is the formula for variance, which we will also use in this particular topic. Okay, so you should remember these two formulas, that is summation 1 by n xi minus x bar whole square, and, or in fact if you can remember this, so this is much simpler form. Okay, now let's do the basic part in the questions again. Okay, so the basic relation that we have to remember between these 6 quantities, that is mean, median, mode, mean deviation, about mean. So we are just talking about MD about mean, okay, not about the median, variance and standard deviation. So this is a very common thing that is being asked at the paper. So let's say we have this set of data, that is x1, x2, x3 up till xn. Mean is denoted by x bar, capital X is for median reserved, xm I am taking for mode, MD stands for this, and standard deviation is sigma, so variance becomes sigma square. So if you add or subtract a constant number to all the data, so for example you did something as x1 plus minus b x2 plus minus b and so on to every data, mean will change correspondingly, plus minus whatever. And same will happen with your median and mode. So if you add or subtract something, mean, median and mode will definitely change, whereas the remaining three quantities, that is measure of dispersions, so these are measure of central tendency, first three, and these three are measure of dispersion, they do not change. In fact, if I talk about these three, they do not change. Can you see this? They do not change at all. So if you add or subtract anything in the data or the input, mean deviation, variance, standard deviation, they remain same, right? But if you multiply, now let's see multiply. For example, I have multiplied it by a here. So a here cannot be 0. Just remember this, right? But a could be a positive number or a negative number. So for measure of what we call this is measure of central tendency, right? Measures of central tendency actually follow what you do with the input. So measures of central tendency, right? Central CT tendency. So they will also be multiplied by a. So this is what will happen with each of these three, right? But now here also they will change. So if you multiply, then yes, the measures of dispersion will change. So the value would be mod a times md. So what is the significance of mod a? I'll just let you know. So sigma will also multiply with a, but remember, very interestingly, the variance will be changed by mod a square. Just see this, because it is sigma and you square the this particular component, so what you will get? Yes, so this is what you will obtain. So if you multiply it with a, the change will be square of it, and you have to use mod a because the change cannot have a negative effect. So even if you multiply all these numbers by, let's say, -1, right? So here it will be or let's say -2, here you will use what? 2, here you will use 2, here you will use 4. Okay. And if we club these two activities in the same club, that is ax1 plus b, and it is ax2 plus b, and so on, if you do on, so you can very well see what will happen here. This is nothing but same will be reciprocated here, as we can easily guess this part. And here, since plus b has no effect here, it will only still remain mod a md modulus a square sigma square, and this will be yes. So please remember this diagram. This diagram is the most important table that you can find in this particular chapter, and in fact there is high probability that if an easy question is being asked, it will be from this particular table only. Okay, so how we are going to take questions in for this particular topic is that we are going to take past year questions which are asked already for the last 3 years at JEE Mains, and because that is the most relevant set of questions that you can be asked at the exam, and we'll try to learn the basics from there and then itself. For example, this is a 2013 JEE Mains problem. It says all the students of a class performed poorly in maths. The teacher decided to give grace marks to 10 grace marks of 10 to each of the students. Which of the following statistical measure will not change even after the grace marks were given? Can you see, this is simply a lollipop question where you will easily fetch 4 marks just by looking at the question. So let's say there were n students, and these are the numbers or the marks which are obtained by students, and then each of them are given the grace marks of 10, right? This is what is said, right? And it is being asked what will not change. So if it is known that it is something like xi plus b has been done, we know that measures of central tendency, right? Measures of central tendency will change, right? They change, right? We know this, they change. That, so what do you mean by measure of central tendency is that mean, median and mode will change, that's for sure, but measures of dispersion will not change, right? Why we call measure of dispersions will not change? Because in dispersion you actually do what? Xi minus x bar something sort of thing, right? Keep this in mind. Wherever you take, whether it is mean deviation or it is basically variance, this is what you're calculating. So the effect of b will be in this also and in this also, which cancels out itself. So this does not change, no change here. So whatever option you find for measure of central measure of dispersion, that will be answer. So median will change, mode will change, variance will not change, mean will change. So the answer option is 3. That's it, straight away 4 marks. Can you see how simple it was? Straight away 4 marks if you know the table. In 2014, a similar pattern question was being asked. It says x bar is your mean, which we know very well. Yes, m is given to be measure of this time it is mode, right? And sigma square is nothing but it is given to be the variance, right, of n observations. This is given to us. Okay, and di, so xi are the observations, I vary from 1 to n, right? And di now is a new measure or observation which is defined as minus xi minus a. So that means first you multiply this number by minus 1, all the observations, and then you subtract a from all the observations. Statement 1. So this is basically statement question. Statement 1 says variance of, so the variance of new observations. So variance of d1, d2 and d3 up till dn will be the same. It says that it will be nothing but sigma square. Now let's check out. We know the property. Me go back to the property. Yes, so can you see here we did that if you multiply with a, yes, what is the effect on the variance? It is, yes, modulus a square sigma square, right? So coming back here, if we just apply that here, so this should be sigma square, right? And we also did that plus minus does not have any effect on the variance, right? So the answer should be this only. And now how it has changed, the value of a in this particular question is minus 1. So we know minus 1 square sigma square, which gives you again sigma square. That means this is true. So statement 1 is true, no problems at all, right? This is true. Let's talk about the statement 2. Okay, let's quickly check it out what the statement 2 is telling about. Mean and mode are this and this respectively. Let's see. So if you are asking that xi, I say mean was x bar and the mode was capital M. I just taught you that whatever you do to this, so for example if you do minus xi, this will be minus x bar and mode will also become similarly this, and if you subtract a from them, so this will also be changing like minus a minus m minus a. So whatever you do here are similarly analogously converted here. Same statement is said by statement 2. So the mean will be minus x bar minus a minus m minus a. So statement 2 is also true. So both of them are true in this particular question. As simple as that. Again you can fetch the 4 marks free, completely free, no hard work required here. So both these statements are true. Similarly, you can say easily a question which was asked in 2014. X bar again is the it is given to be mean, right? And MD is again the mean deviation. So xi, x2, x3 up till xn. So this is given, and now what has been done is that you have added 5 to all of them, right? And again a very basic question. So just quickly go into it, that what all quantities will change. So if this has been done, so we know that capital X bar plus 5 will be the new mean, right? This will be the new mean, and by adding, will any change will be there for MD? No. So the MD, that is mean deviation about mean, new will be equal to MD old. That's not a problem. That's it. So the option 2 is correct. Okay. So these kind of questions are generally asked at different examinations. So you have to be very clear with that table that we just talked about. Let's take another question. It says a factory is operating with 2 shifts, day and night, with 70 and 30 workers respectively. A simple question, let's say. So in day shift and it's a night shift here, right? In the day shift 70 people work and in the night 30 people work. If per day mean wage of day shift worker is rupees 54, right? It is rupees 54, and per day meal of all. So all kitne ho gaye bhai? Yes, they are all in total 100. and the average weight of all the workers is given to be 60 rupees. Then per day mean wage of a night worker is, so you need to find this particular variable here. So how do you do this? So let's say there are 70 odd people, right? So let's say x1 plus x2 and up till x70 I take here, and somewhere down the line this is x71 and 72 up till x100, because there are 100 people, we know this fact. Okay, so what is the average? So this is given that x1 plus x2 plus x3 up till x70 is nothing but 70 into 54. That is the meaning of the mean, because this divided by 70 is given to be 54. We know that this value here x71, this set of 30 night shift workers which are given the code of 71 to 100, right? So they are 30 in total. I need their average, which I have taken as x rupees, right? Okay, so this is the total, and I know that what is the total salary which is given to all these employees. If they are 100 and the average comes out to be 60, so yes, so the total salary given is around 6,000 rupees. So if you add both of them, that is 70 into 54 plus 30x should come out to be how much? Yes, 6,000, and this is what you just have to calculate. And if you just solve this, so the answer that you people will get is x is equal to 74. So 74 is the answer we were looking for. Now next take a question which was asked in 2015. So it says the mean of the data set comprising of 16 observations. So there are 16 observations in total, right? So 16 observation, and the mean is given, the mean is also 16. So mean of these 16 observations is coming out to be 16. If one of the observations valued 16, so one of the observation, let's say one of the values is xi comes out to be 16 only, right? Where for let's say xi is 1, it is deleted somehow. So I can say that there are 15 entries, right? And the 16th entry which got deleted was 16, right? This is something which I can take. Right now, what is given to me that their mean is given, so I can say this relation is there, that by 16 is 16, right? And now what you have done is, if this is deleted, you have added 3 new observations, which is 3, 4 and 5 are being added. So there were 15 already, 15 earlier, and now you have added 3 more observations. So total number of observations are now 18 observations are there, right? And you want to find the new mean. So new mean is nothing but x1 plus x2 up till you add these 15 values plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by nothing but 18. So you can solve this, right? So this is nothing but, here you can see from here that summation xi, where I varies from 1 to 15, is nothing but 16 into 16 minus 16, right? This, which is nothing but 16 into 15, right? This is what I can say. Just solve this now and get the answer. So you will get the answer as 240. Just put the value here because this is the mean which we wanted to find. So there is nothing but 240 plus this will be what? 12, right, by 18. So this comes out to be 252 by 18, which is nothing but exactly, yes, 14. So 14, 4 is the answer. Okay, now this question says that if the mean deviation of the numbers 1, 1 plus d, 1 plus 2d until 1 plus 100d is 255, find the value of d. This appeared in 2016 problem. So let's see how do we solve this. So first of all, writing all the numbers, it is 1 plus d. So what will be the next one? 1 plus 2d, and as we write, you can simply see that yes, they follow a definite pattern, which is nothing but a, yes, AP. Okay, and how many terms are there in this particular series? How many terms are there? Yes, so there are not 100 terms. This is the error that you people commit. There are 101 terms here. Why? Because it is starting from 1 plus 0d and going till 1 plus 100d. Okay, now you want to find mean deviation, right? Mean deviation about median, sorry, not median but mean, right? So what the formula is, it says xi minus x bar by n, right? So x bar here is nothing but the mean or the average that you need to find. So let's start with the mean here. What will be the mean? Mean will be nothing but sum of all the values or the observations, right? Like this 100d divided by how many terms are there? That is 101. So this is nothing but sum of AP, right? Sum of AP can be written as n by 2, 101 by 2 into 2 times a plus n minus 1, or the formula that I am using is n by 2 a1 plus an. Remember the sum of AP. So this comes out to be 2 plus 100d, and there is also 101, right? So this now completely reduces to what? 1 plus 50d. So this is your mean, right? This is your value of mean, x bar. So now you want mean deviation. That means mean deviation is nothing but you will subtract every number or every observation by the mean, that is 1 plus 50d, right? Every time 1 plus 50d. Here also I will subtract it with 1 plus 50d. Note that here we will have to take a modulus sign. So if you subtract here these two terms, you could have said, sir, I would get minus 50d. So let me just start writing md now. So if you subtract these two, you will get only 50d, not minus 50d. Check this out. Okay, because we have a modulus sign. Then if you subtract this, you will get 49d, right? That is the major difference between, in fact, yes, it has to be a modulus here. Then obviously by the pattern we can say the next will be 49, after 49 will come 48, and so on the series will go. And can you find the difference of these two? Yes, it will again, so the last difference will be again 50d, right? And you have to divide all of this by 101 because number of terms are this. So can you see this question now reduces to another AP problem? Why? Because see, what is happening here is that it is 50, then 49, then 48, then somewhere down here a 0d must have occurred, and then you will have started from 1d and so on till 50d. So in a way I can say what is happening here. Here 2 times the series is getting repeated with series d plus 2d plus 3d up till 50d. This is getting repeated twice. This is what has to be understood. And there is nothing but you can take d common, so 2d by 1 plus 2. So this is nothing but sum of first 50 odd natural numbers, right, divided by 101. If I take the calculation on this side, so you can easily solve. So the answer then becomes that 2d by 101, this will be what? N into n plus 1 by 2, that is 51 into 50 by 2. And now the answer to this particular problem was given to you that the median, the mean deviation is nothing but 2 to 255, right? This was given to you. Now just you can simply calculate and find the value of d from here. So you can simply say that this is cancels out this. If you solve, this will be 5. So d is nothing but 101 by 10, which gives you answer 10.1, which is nothing but option A. So this is the answer that we have to mark. Now the next problem asks you to find the variance of first 50 even natural numbers. This problem came in 2014. So that means the number of the observations are something like this, right? First 50. So this will go till where? Yes, it will go till 100. So you want to find the variance of this observation. So for variance, what formula we are going to use? So we know that this is let's say sigma, right? So sigma square, sorry, right? So this will be what? We can say mean of x square minus mean whole square, right? This is what is the formula. So if you can understand and apply this formula, the questions will become very much easy. So for example, what is Ex? I am repeating again, Ex is nothing but mean, very simply mean, right? And Ex square is nothing but mean when numbers are xi square, when numbers or observations are your not xi but xi square. So first of all, let's calculate the Ex. So what is the value of Ex that you will obtain here? So Ex is nothing but 2 plus 4 plus 6 up till 100 and divided by, there are 50 numbers. So this is what you will calculate. And if you see from the above, we can take 2 common. So it will become nothing but 2 by 50, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up till 50, that is sum of first 50 natural numbers. So the answer will be 2 by 50 into n plus 1 by 2. So the answer then will be nothing but 51. So Ex you have got is 51. Now your target is to find Ex square. So let me just show you what is Ex square. So Ex square is nothing but when you will square each observation first, something like this, and then take their summation. So that is 100 square now divided by the number of observations are still 50. So the mean of squares of the observation is Ex square. How you are going to solve this is, again I can take 2 common, and this time round 2 square will be the common entity that will come outside, right? So it will become what? Can you tell me here? It will be 1, it will be 2 square, it will be 3 square, and so on till 50 square. So now again this formula is that we know that sum of squares of first n natural numbers. So what it is, you can say 4 by 50 n into n plus 1, that is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1, right? That is 101 by 6. This is what is the requirement. So this value, if you calculate, will come out to be 3434. Now we have solved our question. We just need to put in the value. So this is 3134, and remember the formula is x square, right? So mean square. So you will not put 51, but you will do 51 square, right? So you can just solve this, and your answer, if you solve this, should come out to be 833. This is the answer we were looking for. So this is the variance of first 50 even natural numbers, and this is how you calculate it. Let's take the next problem, which appeared in 2014. It says mean of 10 observations. So 10 observations are, let's say, x1, x2 till they are x10, right? The mean of this, that is divided by 10, is given to be 2. The standard deviation of these, standard deviation, that is sigma, is given to be 3. So if sigma is 3, I can say sigma square, that is my variance. Variance will be what? 9. Now we need to find out the value of the mean of these numbers, right? So mean of these 10 numbers, and this goes on, series goes on till, so mean would be nothing but when you will divide it by 10, right? This is what you need to find. So this is the xn new, right, that you need to find. So what I can say, let's just quickly split it up. So I can say this is x1 square plus x2 square till x10 square plus 2 times x1 x2 up till x10 again plus 10. Can I say something like this? This whole quantity can be written like this, and divided by 10 is already there, right? So you need to figure out the value of this particular quantity, because this is already given to you, x1 plus x2, that is 20. We know this value, right? So the target is to figure out this, and for this we are given the value of the variance. So how variance is used? So let's see. We know that variance, or V if I say, is nothing but E x square minus Ex whole square, right? So what is Ex square? Ex square is nothing but summation of squares of the observations divided by total observation, which is 10. This will be what? Summation xi divided by 10, that is the normal mean, whole square. Now this value is already given to you as 9, right? And you also know what is the value of summation xi by 10. So this is summation. So if I talk about, this is nothing but mean. So this is summation xi by 10, which is already given to be 2. So this value now comes out to be summation xi square by 10 minus 4 is equal to 9. And if I take it here, this becomes summation xi square by 10 is equal to 13, and I can say summation xi square is nothing but 130, right? This is the value, and this is what I was intended. So this is nothing but summation xi square. Just put the values to find the answer. So xn bar that we wanted to calculate is nothing but, this is 130, this is 2 into 20 plus 10 whole divided by 10. Got it? Which is nothing but, if you solve, this comes out to be 18. So, and this is the answer we were looking for. This is the answer. Okay. So this is how we have used. So understand, whenever you are given, so the important stuff here to understand is summation xi square. So whenever this is being asked, just think of variance. This is the hint. Okay, let's take another problem which appeared in 2016, that is last year. So it says if the standard deviation of the numbers, these are the 4 numbers that are given to you, that is 2, 3, 8, 11. So the standard deviation of these numbers is given to be 3.5. Then which of the following is true? You need to find an equation in terms of A. So we know standard deviation is nothing but sigma, right? And we know what is the variance? Sigma square is the variance, that is 3.5 square is nothing but variance, right? So if you want to find the variance, how you will find the variance of these numbers? Because that is how we are going to introduce the terms. So variance is nothing but again the same formula. See, this is the beauty, that this formula will be used exceptionally in these questions. So this is the formula, and this is nothing but summation xi square by 4 minus summation xi by 4 whole square, right? This is the formula that we are going to use because there are only 4 observations. So summation xi will be what? 2 square, 3 square plus a square plus 11 square, right, by 4. This is this particular term, and the other term would be 2 plus 3 plus a plus 11 by 4 whole square, right? So this is the variance, and we are given the value of variance. You just need to solve this to find the answer. So what I can say here is what the values will become. So if you solve, this is something what you will obtain later on, and this is nothing but equal to 3.5 whole square. This is what is given to you. And if you solve this completely, you will definitely get your answer, which I have already done for you guys. So if you just go and cross multiply and solve this, this is what you will get, which is your answer. So 3a square minus 32a plus 84 equal to 0. So this is your answer. And if you just match it, it is nothing but option B. Very simple. So in fact, if I have to talk about, just remember the formula of the variance. So variance is something very important at JEE Mains, which they do ask questions on. So this is the first formula of the variance, which is very important because it reduces the length of the question, or otherwise the standard formula is xi minus x bar square whole divided by n, right? Okay, now let's take a very different problem which was asked in 2015. This is basically mean and variance. This is mean and variance of binomial distribution, right, which I have also talked in a bit in your probability topic, right, because that is where we discuss binomial distribution, right? So what is given? That mean and variance of a binomial variate x. So binomial variate is x, so mean is given to be 2 and the variance of the binomial variate is given to be 1. So let us just quickly revise what is binomial distribution. So that means there are only 2 outcomes, that is success and failure. Remember, success and failure, whatever you want to call it, there are only 2 outcomes. That is what we understand out of binomial, 2 outcomes, and I call the probability of success as P and the failure as Q, right? So the, and let's say the event is repeated n times, right? This is the question, it is repeated n times. So if it is getting repeated n times, you have to now remember the formula. So the mean of this will be nothing but NP, and the variance is nothing but N into P into Q. This is the stuff that you people have to do. Okay, just put it into your formula books. So now let's start with the question. It says then the possible probability that x takes a value greater or equal to 1. Okay, so that means the random variable takes a value x greater than or equal to 1. You need to find that probability. So for that, we need to figure out how many times the event is occurring, right? What is the value of n, right? Then only we can say how many chances of successes are there, right? So for example, so mean is given to be 2. So that means 2 is equal to NP, and this is also given variance. So variance is 1 is equal to NP Q, and if you divide both of them, you will definitely get what? You will get Q is equal to 1 by 2. Put that over here. Now if Q is equal to 1 by 2, that implies P is equal to also 1 by 2. Why? Because I can say P plus Q is equal to 1, because either you will be successful or you will a failure at the event. So P plus Q is equal to 1. So if Q is equal to 1 by 2, P is equal to 1 by 2, and this implies that N is equal to 4. So that means the event occurred 4 times. So now I'll convert this problem to a very simple problem. So this is nothing but a coin is tossed, right? A coin is, let's say, tossed 4 times. This is the event, right? X is the random variable which shows, let's say, head occurred, right? So this is the random variable. You need to figure out that what is the possibility that X is greater than equal to 1. So this is what it is being asking. So this could be, that means X equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4 could be the possibility values. But remember, the X can be, what is the sample space of X? X can take 0 also. It could be 1, 0, 2, 3 and 4. These are our favorable values of X, but these are all the total values of X. And if you total them, what will be the probability? So total probability still remains 1, right? Remember, total probability is still 1. So the answer to this problem can be written as 1 minus probability when X is equal to 0. Remember, we used to solve at least one question, something like when none of them occurred. So there is nothing but when you want out of 4 events, no head occurs. So 4C0 you selected. No head. The probability of head is 1 by 2. Probability of tail is 1 by 2. That's it. This is nothing but 1 minus 1 by 16. Answer we were looking for is 15 by 16. This is the answer that we want to hit on. So this is the 4th option. Okay. So let's take other problem. Says standard deviation of some temperature data Celsius is 5, right? The temperature, the data is in Celsius, right? You are given in Celsius, and the SD for this is coming out to be 5. That is sigma is equal to 5, right? Now it says if the data were to be converted into Fahrenheit, the variance would be. So what will be the variance that is being asked of you now? So remember, standard deviation is given, asked quantity is variance, and first of all we need to know what will happen when Celsius is converted to Fahrenheit. So the formula is that you do this particular stuff. Celsius is calculated like this, but we wanted the data from Celsius is converted to Fahrenheit. So F can be written as 9 by 5 C, right, plus 32. This is what I can say. So converting Celsius to Fahrenheit is this particular formula, and now this becomes a very simple problem. So now if you want that the standard deviation of C, so standard deviation of C was, let's say, SD, right? SD was 5, but now what will happen with 9 by 5 C plus 32? Yes, so it will be 9 by 5 into 5, right? So the change of 32 will not be taken counted, only 9 by 5 will be counted, the multiplier. So this comes out to be 9, right? So if standard deviation is 9, what will be the variance then? Variance is nothing but square of the standard deviation. So this comes out to be 81. This is the answer we were looking for or targeting straight away. Okay, very interesting problem. Okay, now let's take the other problem. It says that mean of 5 observations is 4.4. So mean of these 5 observations is given to be 4.4. So this is 5 times into 4.4, because we know that divided by 5 would be here. So I've taken it completely here. This is also given to us. Their variance is given then. Variance V of these 5 numbers is 8.24. Now if 3 observations, so x1 is 1, this is given to you, x2 is be 2 and x3 is given to be 3. I take the remaining 2 as x and y, right? Let's take this way. So I can say x plus y plus 1 plus 2 plus 6 is equal to something, this value, which is nothing but what value you will obtain from here. So this will be 22, right? So this is 22. So x plus y, this will be 9. So if you subtract 9, what you will get is x plus y is equal to 13. So x and y in terms of 2 variables, you get the equation 1, that is x plus y is equal to 13. Now our target is to find another equation in terms of x and y, because there are 2 parameters, and for this we have to use the definition of variance. So what is a variance? So variance is nothing but sigma square, which is written as E x square minus E x whole square. Ex is nothing but the mean, And what is this? This is summation of xi square by how many digits are there? 5, right? And this is given to be 4.4 whole square. And now this is variance is given to you. This is nothing but 8.24. This is now the quantity that you people have with you. So if you try and solve this, this will be nothing but 1 square plus 2 square plus 6 square plus x square plus y square by 5. And if you count this, this will be nothing but it will become 27.6. Right? Just do the calculations. If I take this forward here, this becomes x square plus y square. This will be what? 36 plus 4 plus 1, that is 41, is equal to 27.6 into 5, that gives you 138 as the answer, right? And from here I can say x square plus y square is nothing but how much? Comes out 97. Now this is my equation 2 in the terms of variable x and y. So you have two equations and two variables. Now you can easily solve them. So what is the process that we are going to follow here is that let's square this. So if I square this, what you will get is 2xy is equal to 169. So from here I can use the value of x square plus y square. So what is the value of 2xy that you people will obtain? That is 169 minus 97, right? So that means 2xy is nothing but 72, right? So that's it. So xy comes out to be 36. So x and y should be such that their product is 36 and they are something where their sum is 13. So this is what you have to calculate. And by hit and trial only we can say we can have our answers that x can be equal to 9 and y can be equal to 4, or vice versa, that x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 9, whichever value you can take. But for this the mean will not change. So these are the two other observations which we needed to find, and this is how you are going to solve this problem. The next concept that we have to learn, and by which we'll end the topic also, is coefficient of variation. So coefficient of variation is nothing but standard deviation divided by mean into 100, and obviously this value is called the variation coefficient, where standard deviation divided by x mean, right? So if when it is used to compare two series, right? When you want to see how two things are performing, which one is much more variable. So the lower value of CV means lower variability, right? This is means low variability, right? So, and which is, you can say it is more consistent, that the data is more inclined towards the central value, it is less dispersed or more consistent data. This is what you can understand. So if you are looking for a data and you want to say which data is better, so that you will select the lower value of CV for which you will get the answer. Okay, let's try and apply them in a question. So here are two plants A and B which produces the workers and the wages paid to them. So A has workers 2500, right? And the average monthly wages, so sig bar is nothing but 2500. Sorry, so this is 55,000 that is given to us. Okay, so a number of employees in this particular, yes, is 5,000. Variance, that is sigma square, is given to be 81 for this particular factory. So B factory has number of employees as 6,000. The average monthly salary or the wages that are distributed is 2500. Compare this is same, right? This is not different, whereas the variance is 100. Now you are targeting A. The question is, in which plant A or B is the greater variability in individual wages? That means the individual wages are less consistent, right? So which are much more dispersed or which are less dispersed, that is what you want to find. So we note that CV was sigma by x bar, and for this we will try to find CV1 and CV, let's say CVA and CVB, right? This is what is our target. And surprisingly, the sigma is the only thing that we need to consider. Why? Because we know that average of both the factories is same, right? So CV1 and let's say CV of A, and we are comparing CV of B, you just need to compare sigma of A and sigma of B, whichever of them is smaller, that data will be more consistent. Remember, the lower the value, lower the CV, more consistent the data. This is the concept. More consistent is the data. That is what we want to figure out. So we need to find just the sigma here, which is already given. So if you talk about sigma becomes 9 and 10. So here the sigma is 9, here it is 10. So which is less? Yes, A is less. So that means the factory A has more consistent data, or more consistent, you have more consistent wages, which is something very good. So if I talk about the practical application of this, if you become a businessman someday, you want your factory wages to be much more consistent, because then you will have no personal fights among the employees, because they might feel that some is getting, let's say 100 and I'm getting only, let's say 50. So this might leads to, problem at the factory front. And this is something which is being taken care of by big industries in a big way. That is why statistics is a very important topic. Okay, so the answer to this problem is factory B has more greater. So we were asked which has greater variability. So that means factory B has greater variability. Factory A is much more consistent. So I hope the concept is clear by this. So by this we come to the end of this particular topic. In fact, it's hard to find the worksheet for this. I'll try and build up a worksheet for you guys so that you can practice. Otherwise, what you people can do is just go to the exemplar, right, and try and solve its objective question, not the subjective. You can leave the subjective part of it. Just try the objective type questions in exemplar, right? That will be more than sufficient for your practice for this particular topic, right? Okay, so I'll start with the new chapter in the next video. Till then, you just keep watching the stats, cover the stats topic, because this is what was the requirement which was being asked by each and every student on the channel. So I just taken it a step ahead and out of the schedule, which I was not supposed to, but yes. So let's just go through it, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay.